suspect in Times Square blast described as disgruntled. ISIS-inspired New York security was tightened across the city Monday as investigators sought the motive for a bungled terror attack that triggered rush-hour chaos at a busy transit hub near Times Square. Akadullah, 27, detonated an improvised, low-tech explosive device he was wearing in a crowded pedestrian tunnel, Police Commissioner James O'Neill said. Ullah, a native of Bangladesh who lives in Brooklyn, was taken into custody and rushed to a Bellevue hospital with burns and other injuries. 3 people near him suffered minor injuries, authorities said. The area was packed with commuters and holiday tourists in a city still on edge from a terror attack 6 weeks ago that claimed 8 lives. Hundreds of commuters fled subway trains and dozens of emergency vehicles swarmed Times Square after the blast. Let's be clear that this was an attempted terror attack, Mayor Bill de Blasio said. Thank God the perpetrator did not achieve his ultimate goal. Surveillance video, posted on social media, shows people walking through the crowded tunnel when a small explosion emits a plume of smoke. Police Commissioner James O'Neill said the blast occurred at about 7:20 a.m. ET and that Ullah was speaking to investigators. Multiple media outlets, citing law enforcement sources, said Ullah was inspired by ISIS but may not have had any direct contact with a militant group. Gov. Andrew Cuomo described Ullah as disgruntled but would not discuss a specific motive for the attack. O'Neill also declined to discuss a specific motive. CNN, citing a law enforcement source, said suspect was upset with an incursion into Gaza. Gaza has been the scene of violence since President Trump announced last week that the U.S. would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The police department tweeted that officers would be out in force across the city, but added that there were no other specific incredible threats. "We're New Yorkers," O'Neill added. "We don't live in fear." Several police cars staked out Ullah's Brooklyn residence. Alan Fromberg, spokesman for the City Taxi and Limousine Commission, said Ullah was licensed as a for-hire driver from March 2012 through March 2015. Christina Bethia, 29, a security guard from Yonkers, a New York City northern suburb, said she was getting off a southbound one-line subway train en route to work Monday morning when she heard a loud noise. "I heard boom and saw smoke and we all started running up the steps," Bethia said. "It sounded like a loud gunshot. When you hear a boom and see smoke, that means get the hell out of there." Bethia said she called coworkers to make sure they weren't harmed and let friends and relatives know she was okay. "I'm alive. That's all that matters to me," she said. "I said, damn, I'm gonna move back to North Carolina. New York City is too much for me." Omar Stewart had been at Port Authority since 4:45 a.m., waiting for a delayed Greyhound bus to take him home to Springfield, Massachusetts, when he heard a muffled bang. "We didn't take it as anything at first," Stewart said. Then, police from every corner started flooding the place saying, grab your bags, everybody out of the building right now." Less than 3 hours after the blast, officials said all trains and buses were running, although the area around the blast was being bypassed. But in the minutes following the blast, at about 7:20 a.m., public transit in the area came to a near standstill. The NYPD is responding to reports of an explosion of unknown origin at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue, #Manhattan, Police Department said in a tweet. The A-C&E line are being evacuated at this time. Info is preliminary. More when available. Cuomo said New Yorkers understand their city is an international target for many who would like to make a statement against freedom. "The reality turned out better than the initial expectation and fear," he said.